Hello everybody and welcome to Melbourne Tullamarine International Airport's Terminal 1, where my recent trip to New Zealand with Qantas began. I chose to fly to Auckland via Sydney, and in today's video we'll go through the first of the two flights, with this one being on board a good old Qantas Boeing 737. So come along and I'll tell you all about it. I'd done online check-in, so I went to a service desk for bag drop, and I was able to use the priority line with my Qantas Gold status. I didn't see any international connections desks, which I feel like I have in the past. The check-in staff were friendly considering the time. It was quite early, and it wasn't very busy in the priority line, but there was also just one desk with someone right behind it. It didn't take too long. My bags were checked through to Auckland and my boarding passes were printed. There was a new temporary security set up at Qantas Terminal 1. There was still priority security, which was good, but it wasn't too busy anyway. It was pretty quick, no real problems. Here's a look at Airside at Terminal 1, which in this area has gone through quite the transformation recently. Qantas operates two lounges here at Terminal 1, which are available to their normal eligible customers. The Qantas Business Lounge and the Qantas Club. The latter I had access to thanks to my Qantas Gold status. This lounge has a nice modern space, though it doesn't really have any natural lighting. But just having the modern lounge is better than Qantas International Business Lounge over in Terminal 2. Not crazy, for Melbourne, but there was certainly people getting coffee at this early time in the lounge. The lounge staff seemed friendly enough. The non-warm food selection was good, but the hot food selection was pretty average. I thought there used to be pastries, but I'm not sure. Also, there was a good drink selection. Overall, it's a good lounge and one of the better domestic lounges in Australia, particularly for Qantas. Picking up where I left off with the history of Qantas, in my Qantas A330-300 review, fast forwarding to 2020, the COVID pandemic hit the world hard, including the aviation industry. As a result of this, Qantas retired its last Boeing 747s early. Since then, my thoughts on Qantas have changed completely, unfortunately for the worse. And I'm quite sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. Since 2020, Qantas has been involved in a somewhat impressive amount of controversies. Allow me to name a few. The sacking of 1,700 ground staff, which was later ruled illegal, getting sued by the ACCC for selling over 8,000 already cancelled flights, leaving customers on hold for long amounts of time with some reports of wait times exceeding 6 hours, criticised flight credit policies. More recently, it was revealed that a Qantas A380 flew for almost 300 hours with a tool in an engine, and a lot more. Qantas fleet has also been criticised for how old most of its planes are. However, that is starting to change with the arrival of more Boeing 787s, A220s and soon A321neos and A350s. I also think that Qantas service is not as good as it used to be. There's my ride to Sydney. Victor Hotel, Victor Zulu Oscar is a 2011 built Boeing 737-838 delivered new to Qantas. This aircraft is painted in the silver root livery. I guess boarding started early. It seemed like groups were used, something I believe Qantas is just testing at the moment on some flights, but I got there after all had started. Welcome on board a Qantas Boeing 737-800, featuring 12 recliner seats in business class in a 2-2 configuration, followed by 162 economy class seats in a 3-3 configuration. My seat for this flight will be 23A.
With our Qantas Business Rewards members on this Qantas flight to Sydney.
When I first got on board, I thought it was relatively warm. It was quite a warm day. Now let's take a quick look at the seat features.
Devices without flight mode can't be used at any time. Please ensure handheld devices are not placed in the seatback holder until after takeoff. Please also remove all cables from the seatback charging ports.
Legroom is very average for a full service carrier, at I think technically 30 inches, but there being double seat back padding, which is great and comfy, does further limit the legroom a bit. There's a standard seat back pocket, which also contains the literature, and then there's a tray table, which is adjustable back and forth, but it's not foldable. It was clean enough. Some of Qantas 737s do have in-flight entertainment screens, this being one of them. It's not particularly big, but it is adjustable, and having any entertainment screen for a 1-hour flight is a plus in my book. There's some controls at the bottom of it, and there's a USB-A port. There's also a nice adjustable headrest. And there's the overhead panel. There was also a universal power socket.
During our safety briefing today.
I thought that the ground stuff was pretty efficient for departure.
Hi, and welcome to my magic place, Litchfield National Park, just outside of Darwin. We all have a place that fills our heart and makes us feel safe. Welcome to Qantas.
If you can reach the seat in front, brace by placing your forehead on the back of the seat. Hold your lower legs.
Lights will guide you to your exits. Your crew members are pointing them out now.
We hope your trip is a safe one, and we hope you get to your magic place again really soon. Thank you for choosing to fly Qantas.
It's now time for pushback, about a minute early. If you're enjoying this video so far, and you enjoy the content I put out on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing. It would help out me and the channel so much, and it would mean so much to me. Also, feel free to leave a comment below, including with constructive feedback. If you don't want to do any of that though, that's completely okay.
Welcome you on your Qantas Flight 406, about an hour's flight time up to Sydney today, where the weather is quite similar to what it is here in Melbourne. So nice flying conditions forecast, so please keep your seatbelts fastened while you are seated. I won't talk to you again unless things change, but we expect to have you disembarking on time. So please sit back, relax, enjoy the Qantas service. Thank you and welcome on board.
It's now time for takeoff on runway 34.
welcome on board screen. To ensure an enjoyable flight for everyone, please switch your device to silent, and a reminder that making and receiving voice and video calls is not permitted. If you're in the main cabin between rows 4 and 30, you'll find 2 toilets at the rear of the aircraft. The forward toilet is reserved for our business class cabin.
Now that we're in the air, let's take a quick look at the in-flight entertainment. The free Wi-Fi was working, which was good. As I expected, the in-flight entertainment screen wasn't very modern and is a bit slow and not too responsive, but it still does the job. The selection of movies and TV shows seemed good for a flight this short, but it's not an amazing selection generally speaking. Though, I couldn't seem to view all of the movies at once and wasn't going to click on all of the different things with this irresponsive screen. Qantas serves complimentary refreshments or snacks, or whatever you want to call them. On offer for this flight, I think, was a smoked ham and egg ciabatta with hollandaise sauce, as well as the normal drink selection for the morning, which is apple juice, orange juice, tea, coffee and water. The ciabatta was actually relatively tasty. I mean, nothing special, but my expectations weren't high. But it was good for a flight like this. If I'm being nitpicky though, then the ham wasn't very well spread out. A rubbish collection service was done afterwards.
National flight, please make your way to Gate Lounge 15 for bus transfers to the international terminal and present your boarding pass or baggage receipt. That's Gate Lounge 15. If you do not have either, please make your way to the international terminal via the Sydney T-bus located outside the terminal. For customers continuing onto a Qantas or Qantas-linked domestic flight, please check the screens in the terminal to confirm your departure gate and make your way to the gate for boarding. As always, the Qantas ground team is happy to help.
As we're already descending into Sydney, please allow me to quickly conclude this flight with Qantas. The check-in experience was good, but nothing special. The Qantas Club in Melbourne was also good, but nothing stood out to me too much. Boarding seems to have started early, and there was a decent amount of people waiting in the jet bridge. I didn't really have much of a problem with the whole process though. The seat features were great, fabulous excluding the legroom. The cabin crew seemed friendly, but there wasn't really enough time for them to engage in much conversation. The in-flight service was as good as I'd expect these days from Qantas really. The entertainment screen was average, but still a nice to have. And having free Wi-Fi is always great, and I do appreciate it a lot. So overall, I had a great flight with Qantas, but not a super impressive one, and for the price point, it's what I'd expect. We'll soon pull into the gate in Sydney, about 2 minutes behind schedule. But for now, please enjoy the rest of the approach and landing on Sydney Kingsford Smith International Airport's runway 34 left.
welcome to Sydney. Qantas would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the airport's lands. If you can reach your phone, you can now turn off flight mode. On behalf of all of us here at Qantas and oneworld, thank you for choosing to fly with us. If you're visiting Sydney, we hope you enjoy your stay, and of course to those returning, welcome home and enjoy the weekend.
We're just waiting for our gate to be clear and then we'll move on to the stand, so please remain seated with your belts fastened. Thank you.
I'd like to take this time to thank you all so much for watching this video. I posted updates of this trip on my Instagram at aviation763_, so feel free to check that out if you'd like. I'd also like to thank all of my incredible Patreons for helping to make these videos possible. Their support is truly so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them, so thank you so much to them. Once again, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one next Saturday at 5 PM Melbourne time.